Alright, here we are. We're going to do another session of learning about Strongholds with the SHAMBAZMOLAM plan this night. This is from a session, played 26 games, we won 16, lost 9, 1 draw. And we're going to see if we can't figure out ways to improve what we're doing and the decisions we're making and the calls we're making and those sorts of things. So we're going to play our fast lineup for all of these games, Cromwells and light tanks. Common for us to want to get into the middle positions here. A little atypical that they're not spotted. I probably should have been more aggressive there. I'm always unsure if it's a good idea to get into the building here or not, and I wanted to try it. I've seen other teams have success with this, but I think it was related to having really great turrets, which this tank does not have. So I think my job here is going to be to try to have turrets turned and try to live while our Cromwells can hopefully work some angles. They've got a tank destroyer that we know exactly where he is. Otherwise, their tanks are not really making plays. They're just kind of holding. Which is, reasonable, I guess. I would say that we're... Yeah, somebody was camping me there. I'd say that we're not set up that well to do this sort of a fight. Even with the Su-100 in the back, theoretically not having great firing angles on us, we're not able to really do what we need to do with this engagement. We probably should have pushed around the 0 line to be fair, and tried to swarm them, I guess. Ideally, when I was still alive, so I could get shots and/or keep turrets looking at me. It's kind of like now we're gonna have to be a little more defensive, which that's a perfect example of why this doesn't work well for us, because you poke and you trade 1 for 1, and now it's not very advantageous. All of a sudden you're losing 180 hit points to 135. So I don't feel very confident. I think we're probably going to lose this. We have to let them push into us, and hopefully they make enough mistakes. The light tank in the back should hopefully have shots. Cromwell in the back should hopefully have shots. But we don't really have a lot of ways to win this anymore. So not a very good start, and probably not very dynamic calling. Airfield plays to go play through the north. We're going to likely, if they go into us, we're going to have a bunch of tanks to shoot, or the OI is really set up and ready to shoot, so he's going to have to either stop and become slower to the fight and shoot, or rush his shot. If he's going this direction, the Cromwell should be there first, and the 85 is slightly behind, so we're going to theoretically have to just push in and outfight some Cromwells and then make the rest happen. Assuming that they're going to this flank. So here we go. I don't really want to push in here yet because our Cromwells aren't all the way here yet. Now that they're here, I'm going to go. Again, protecting my health to the extent. Now a Cromwell scene in the middle, this is really, really good for us. So we need to absolutely get these guys out. Oh, it's a bad play. I shouldn't be around my team there. So we need to just be hammering these guys. Everybody's a little concerned about getting snapped by the OI. But as soon as he shoots, I think we need to go in. And they have a Cromwell out of position, and we've now reduced ourselves to playing a game we don't really want to play. So I think we probably should have been more decisive here. And I think ultimately that, hopefully that's what we do. At least we're not having a completely disadvantageous trade. Cromwell's behind us. We need to get those guys out and stay safe behind the rocks, essentially. You know, limit incoming fire angles while you fight a multiverse, you know, while you fight a mismatch somewhere. I guess I probably, well, we lost a Cromwell there. They're about to lose a Cromwell. I think our, I could probably used Artie here. Would have been another thing to think about. That guy's gonna die. I'm gonna help. Back into the middle. We had two Cromwell sneak up top in the midst of all this. That was an unfortunate bounce. Oh, I missed. Lucky. Now that our troops have got turned around and ready to go in, we're going to go in. I feel like I was a little bit needing to protect my health right there. I'm probably not focusing the best either here. Obviously the OI is staring me down, so part of me just wants to sit here and let him hold the angle and not react. Because I think we have a pretty good chance of winning a one-on-one in the bottom part of the screen right there. Our other Cromwell's moving now, so we should have a pretty good chance now. But no, I think actually I made some micro misplays right there. I think I should have used mobility a little better and got in there and joined the team a little more. I don't know if we were just warming up. Okay, so he shot. Kill him here, easy. He's gonna take him a minute, a solid minute to kill all of us. So, you know, I'll take some blame there. I don't think I did a very good job personally with my in-game decisions. But we gotta win. So that last game was it was within the theme that we've noticed amongst ourselves the last couple times we played, is that we don't do as well as a team when we are left to our own devices, and we do much better when we're decisive and push and use kind of surrounding and overwhelming tactics. So part of this game on Abbey was an experiment. I don't see teams going here very often, so my idea was, let's go here, maybe catch them out and shoot them in the side for a minute, and if they're going way the heck away from us, this could be a strong play. So they were going middle, which is a little bit surprising. I'd call that a less strong play than going to the 1-2 line. Unfortunately, one of our tanks gets caught out, so we're gonna leave this. Again, we got mobility. We don't need to play this fight. This is not an advantageous fight to play on this flank, so we're gonna leave this and go get different angles. We could go up through the Abbey now. That actually wouldn't be a bad play. And try to pick stragglers from behind. It's probably better to get back up into the strong position along the 1-2 line. And so I'm going to stay back and try to scout. They've obviously realized and seen us leave. They've realized that we're leaving. And so they're going to not just push out into here and get farmed or whatever. So it's kind of a race. So I want our Cromwells to be able to react to them if they're going Abbey, or if they're going up to their respective 1-2 line. I probably could have been more aggressive with vision to try to find that out by going back the way from which we just came. I'm not sure if we had the Cromwells check across the middle into the Abbey or not. 12T shows up. So right now it's hard to say what they're doing. It looks like they're maybe playing in the middle somewhere. Yeah, there they are. They're playing through the Abbey. I'm going to go back up to the elevated position, the Overwatch position. Hopefully our Cromwells can sneak some shots across. And now it's just a matter, like, the theory of this, how this is playing out, is using our mobility to take different angles on them. And we really need to be firing through the middle here as well. I need to keep vision out through the backside of this so that 12T can't be too aggressive and close anything. I think I can take a full clip from him, or maybe I need him to miss one, but hopefully he's not right on my tail. That'd be bad. So there we go, we got Cromwell's repositioning to the middle of the map, which is the correct thing to do. I probably should have been a little bit quicker about double bushing there so I could have got some more shots on him. It's always a danger getting spotted from the middle if you shoot from this. Like, you can double bush from where the cap is and be spotted from the middle occasionally, so you got to be a little careful about that. And that's what I'm... There I figured he's probably behind bushes over there, so I don't think he was going to spot me. Again, I think we're a little indecisive here. Necessarily, I guess. Another Cromwell could probably be up north. You know, if something gets spotted, we were going to want to kill it. We're not just going to want to chip away at it. Didn't lead him enough there, or there, or there. I probably should retake vision across where our spawn is here, actually. I should probably change the angle again. I gotta think their tanks are just kind of chilling in the city somewhere. I guess we could... Again, I guess call it an experiment. Initially we went 7 line, which is probably a dumb play, but I thought we'd be able to surprise them and catch them out of position, because like nobody goes to that position. It didn't work. Now I'm thinking, how could we not play their E2s, who are probably derping, and their 85 in close quarters, with them having different angles of support. I kind of want to go River Road and get in behind them, was kind of my idea. I've not had success with that necessarily in Strongholds before, and I was hoping we could get something like that to work. It's really hard to know what they're doing. Is that Cromwell just trying to see us and bait us down? I don't know. I think it's going to be a bad idea to chase him. So me and these two Cromwells, the 3 Cromwells up north are going to hold. Me and these two Cromwells are going to try to find another angle. And this is probably a bit too split. I think we could have done this a number of different ways better. They're being really defensive, so I mean, if we want to win, we're going to have to be aggressive. We probably could have sent some forces down to like the A2 area and then got across that way. That's actually, there's some cover back there which you can make work. I'm spotted by the 12T in the middle, which, you know, isn't exactly bad, but our other 2 Cromwells that are coming with me are also spotted, and so they know now that we've split, and we probably should have turned back. We probably should have went to go do something else, or maybe even attacked down the 7 line again, or back up into the Abbey area with the support of the Cromwells. I hope that the Cromwells are able to see what's going on, but they weren't able to spot things as they approached. They basically got the angle closed on them very rapidly, and so hopefully Artie can level the playing field a little bit. but it missed, and they've just got too many tanks there, and all of a sudden, and we're way out of position. So, and their 12T obviously went down and capped. So, that's mostly pretty bad for us at this point. We have one small chance to win, and that's to actually cap them. And so we're gonna try it. And if you sit in this cap, right behind this rock in the cap here, there's about enough room for 3 tanks. We should be okay, because it looks like their 1210 was capping. So as long as we stay chill right here, and there's the mistake right there. So I think it was Pud. I think it was Pud who left this cap circle there, drove through it, and if you watch the counter here, we get within 1 second. Not clearly we're Bucky as well, but he missed there. So it's at 4, 3, 2, 1, and then with 0 seconds on the clock we get reset. And so if he had not driven through the cap circle, we actually would have won this game. But now it's pretty much over. There's no way we can win. So, that was the last ditch effort to win. Would be to outcap them there and use the rock effectively. Obviously that didn't happen, but we had other things go wrong, in which disallowed us from winning this anyway. Okay, so we lost 2-1-1 so far. We've not really been able to kind of fully group up and use our preferred tactic of close quarters, high DPM, high mobility kind of combat. So this map is a good example of where it's got a really strong location that is really common, and it seems like you should be ready to have a fight there for that reason. An advantage we have is that our Cromwells and light tanks are all very similar DPM and very similar mobility, so we're going to all mostly, if it's a drive to one location and start fighting immediately scenario, we're going to all be there at a very, very similar timing. Whereas hopefully, maybe we catch a Cromwell or a light tank first and he dies without shooting us much, and then we have a gun advantage, which we can kind of keep pushing with. So I feel like when we get here, they're either going to be here or not. And if they're not here, they could be kind of doing the same thing and being a little bit hesitant to go in, not really wanting to jump in like we are until they know what they're getting into. So I feel like you have to go backwards to check spawn, gap, or whatever. You also have to be ready to you have to be ready also to go in straight forward. Obviously, with I'm going back, I'm going to be taking a tank out of the fight. But here's the other common play that teams really love to do on this map, is they like to camp. So we have to take down camps. In my opinion, the easiest way to do it, maybe not easiest, the most effective way to do it is to get various angles and spot them at a distance. The people spotting don't get spotted themselves, and everybody else shoot from a range in which you won't get spotted in return. And so me being able to drive up here is actually really, I think, a little odd. I would expect most teams to camp this to at least have eyes over the valley so that they would see a tank driving up here. So not doing so keeps their tanks tighter, I guess, but it would also set them up for a scenario where they don't really know what we're doing, know where we're moving. Camping in general, and this map too is applies that you're limiting your ways to win. It's not like you're using map knowledge or like group tactics. You're just like sitting there and waiting for a team to drive into you, and then if that doesn't happen, you draw, I guess, because you know, by the time you'll see by the time we get into this game, if we weren't moving into them, they would have no time to win the game. And I don't know if we just need to like draw teams that do that more often because to get them to stop doing that or what, but I mean I feel like we have a good chance to win most of them because mostly teams that are doing that don't have any idea what they're doing. But, you know, I'm in a position, I'm spotting this guy, I spot him twice, he either doesn't have Sixth Sense or it's gone off and he doesn't seem to care. And so I'm not going to shoot because my my position then will be given away both by he'll know where he's getting shot from, but also I'll probably get spotted in return. You know, these tanks are at however many meters these guys are at. They're at like probably 4 something. This is like I should get spotted if I shoot here. So we've tried a bunch of different angles, and our tanks are going to reposition. And since they're not spotting anything, we can just drive across the middle and get into position without them knowing what we're doing. So we're going to amass our Cromwells at the base of the hill here. There's multiple different angles to go up. I don't really think it matters probably which way you go up. I think this way you can get closer before they know what's going on. I guess we could have done this from other angles too, but one of our Cromwells, I should add, has not played with us a whole bunch. He's has like only several hundred games on his account. I'm going to delete a tank because I can't. It'll make it a little easier for us, ideally. So one of our Cromwells isn't really ready to join up with us yet, but we're getting to the point where we're getting a little bit impatient, and we should probably just start to push. And again, I'm able to drive so deep into their. Usually there'd be a tank like somewhere in here. I'm able to drive so deep into this and not be spotted. I think I spotted their VK and did get spotted in return. So the thought was at the time is that we could all just drive up and shoot the VK quick. If we hit him each once, he dies. If we, you know, get to miss and then you have to shoot twice or whatever, then he should die pretty quickly. So maybe I should be aiming for his tracks more. I don't know. So I'm going to shoot when our team is shooting. They know we're here now, and our mistake, we make a couple mistakes here. One is that we don't really have surprise anymore, so we might as well just get in there. That's one mistake. And then I see the T-21 up there. It's like, it's really insane to me that he's chilling there and didn't spot my approach where I was coming from. I think that's very typical. So I didn't really expect them to be up there. I guess I should have in retrospect because he wasn't spotted otherwise, but you know, I don't know. There's a couple things here that could go better. One is that we probably needed to commit on this. So these guys are shooting up at the T-21. Well, that tank comes around the corner. We've got several tanks down the hill that can't really be effective right now, and that are just getting farmed. So we should have just taken our lumps from behind and gone up there. The other thing that I should have done is I should have went up behind and killed that T-21, especially now that he has no health. And you know, the VK is not getting effective fire right now. The T-21 would die if I went and pushed him, because I could probably shoot him once before he even turned his turret. Our tanks aren't getting up the hill like we really should be. So lots of things not going well here that are going to ultimately mean that we're going to have a hard time winning the game. Just credit the 21 up there is just poking his turret and that's it, and getting away with not getting shot in return. You can see I want to do it. I want to do something to try to change angles, but each time I think I should move, they change angles, and it makes me want to support fire into the group of the main group here. So at this point, we kind of have to be defensive now, and our Cromwells down there need to play in a way which allows them, which forces them to get driven into. You know, I mean, we should have probably backed down the hill there and just stared up at that VK. So lots of little things didn't go well. we play this map later, and we definitely learn from our mistakes. I think I personally didn't play very correctly there with my decisions either. So, I'm starting to get a little frustrated with this point because it's 3 losses and only 1 win. Okay, so big open map with a team that doesn't have the same vision capacity that we do. So we're going to try to play with our light tanks out front, getting vision, and our Cromwells responding to what the vision is telling us to do. It's really common to go 0 line on this. They're set up, they can really do anything. So our Cromwells are going to want to stay together in case they should meet the bulk of their force over there. And there's the bulk of their force. So well, we don't know that for sure yet. Our 64, yeah. So it's the bulk of their force. I need to get my gun in the game here a little better. My question to myself is, should I go cap, or should I try to get side shots on these guys? I maybe could have just stayed where I was. I felt like they'd be less protected from this angle, and you know, clearly they are. Our Cromwells are being a little bit hesitant too. The guy that there's some mixed messages and unsure what to do sort of thing going on there. And I'm also way too close. I need to open this angle up, so I got spotted when I didn't need to, so that's a misplay. So our Cromwells are not sure if they should go in or if they should hold and try to play on the corners and stuff. But as we've determined time again, we don't do that very well, so we should probably go in and kill them. But not all the Cromwells are getting the message equivalently, or you know, doing what we thought we needed to do. So, you know, in my scenario, I think I'm fine here to sit and just get free side shots. But the Cromwells aren't really being coordinated enough. I think we probably should have had them rush in. And then also I was a little tunnel vision there. I'm trying to kill the one shot. I knew the guy was closing on me and I was going to die to him, but I was trying to get the one shot out. I probably should have capped and just told the Cromwells to hold. That would have forced them to move. And now we're just kind of getting a little bit stuck. And we kind of hesitate a lot, and we're really split. We don't know which guys we should be shooting at. They've got too much health and we have not enough. So that's how that's going to go. So again, another loss. We're really not working together very well right now, and the communication isn't very good, so there's some things that are gonna change. And we do end up winning a lot of games this night, but it started off really ugly. Redshire is the next game, so if we can avoid it, we don't really want to fight their 3045Ms in close quarters. Now, the thing that makes me hesitate to say that would be that they have an Ashorn, so theoretically they have less flexibility than we do, and so maybe we could go, go face them again. The assumption is that they'll be going to the middle region to try to bully us if we're there, which they should do, and then figure it out if we're not there. That would be what I would say that they should do. I'm going to try to spot. Our 64 is going to spot out. Our Cromwells are going to try to get distance, do a distance engagement. This is a really aggressive play, but this bush is really, really powerful. So spotting him back there is indicating one of only a couple things, and that they haven't been spotted where our other light tank is. So they're either, you know, spreading out a little bit along the hill, and that guy just doesn't know what he's doing. But that's a really atypical place to see a tank, and clearly I will spot them if they're driving down one line into the castle, and I'll be able to leave without getting spotted and return. So either they're doing something really weird or atypical or camping, and that guy just doesn't know what he's doing. Or yeah, either they're doing something really atypical or camping, or that guy is just lost and he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's not getting the message with what they're supposed to be doing. So, based on we're not getting spotted is important to realize here. We're communicating that we're not getting spotted, so we're going to close distance. Cromwells can get into the underside of the hill here. I really like my position, so I'm not quick to leave it, but I can try to advance vision further now that, you know, we've got some support. If there's happens to be a tank up on top of this hill, we'll kill it, and we won't lose a tank very likely. But again, nobody's getting spotted, so we're pretty sure that they're just kind of camping. And this map has cover, so you can cap if they do that. So I don't know that that's a very stellar play. So we're going to send the light tanks onto cap, and then our Cromwells are just going to shoot everything that comes out to try to stop us. These guys need effective fire. These guys need effective fire. You know, we have cross fire at different angles, and we should be able to deal with it. I'm saying to the other light tanks, like, we're going to get artied here. So I was trying to position my tank far enough away that the arty wouldn't strike and kill both of us, which was successful. I wasn't too worried about dying there. I still thought we were in a really, really strong position. So, you know, obviously our tanks are going to be able to just completely farm anybody that comes to try to reset, unless they go, I guess, up from there a little bit, and then we're just going to have to figure out how to deal with that. Again, our plan here is not to cap. Our plan is to use cap as a tool to get them to move to a position where we can deal with them differently. So getting reset there really doesn't make much of a difference. So now we have a tank advantage. Everything's spotted except their Nashorn, so we're probably better off to force our tank advantage here rather than to play pokey with them. So we're going to get in a position. Actually, that's good to know. Even from that position, our light tank is not really getting shot until they overextend. So there's just a sliver of a place to hide there. Yeah, ammo racking a tank or whatever, that only helps. So now that we're kind of gathered up, the tanks that were on the back ridge over there were a little slow to join us, but now that we're gathered up, we should have no trouble just blasting through here. Again, the tank, near full health Cromwell, well behind us, isn't quite with the program yet, so he's needs to get out here. And now let's just go kill the Nashorn, who's missing shots repeatedly. And this is Chaco. I was like, you know, you can drive through cover to go kill him. And he said, nah, he can shoot me twice. It's gonna be okay. So he was gonna go just ram kill him. So, you know, meta play, pretty happy with how that one went. Micro play, not bad either. I mean, things can always be cleaned up. Okay, so we have another scenario where we've got a team lineup, or against a team lineup, I should say, that has it's going to have a natural tendency to split because of speeds of the vehicles, unless they are very intentionally trying to stay together. So again, all of this is theoretical, because if they decide to drive together, then it's different. But theoretically, we should be able to attack like some Cromwells and a light tank before their entire team is there. And we had been talking as well that we needed to continue to work on our close quarters engagements, and myself included, but the other guys as well were commenting that we feel mostly like we're more in control of these scenarios when we're more in control of games in general when we were able to fight close quarters with our Cromwells and use DPM and kind of group rush tactics. So this tank is clearly isolated. We have to kill him. Um, I'm way hull down, and he's not seeing me at 270 meters, so something crazy is happening here. So when I'm not getting spotted, I'm telling them, don't go in yet, be ready to go in, let me take as much hit points from him as I can. Now we can go in and kill him. Being ready to respond to whatever other direction they might be coming from. So again here, it's important to, if we're going to take a shot, we should only take one shot and rapidly kill him. So we took a shot from somebody. Oh, there's another one we took there. And then that's a misplay right there. This Cromwell that came all the way around the corner well after the tank had died got shot. So like, you don't need to be spotted there. Like their dude's dead or dying, about to die. You don't need to put yourself in a position to lose hit points. We have to be better about protecting our hit points. So for all it looks like now, we sent a Cromwell back to base because we were a little bit worried about somebody snooping around there. So he's going to go back up through the middle of the map and get vision out that way. I'm going to get vision out this way, and then we're going to mass our Cromwells in a position to fight them through the north, basically. I usually won't shoot this in this kind of a scenario when I'm pretty sure that my vision's more important than getting spotted and getting shot and getting flushed out of this position. So again, we're hungry for wins here, so we're going to try to take an advantage of party and kill a tank. So we took a tank away, and now they have even less ability to crossfire as our Cromwells move in. So we need to make that work quickly. Our Cromwells are getting in there. I feel like they're not being too effective because I shot them 3 times, and we have 4 tanks over there. So I don't know, maybe everybody else over there missed 3 times or whatever, but like this coordinatedness of that engagement. Now I'm going to shoot these because they're all moving, and they're never gonna flush, hit me and or like stop to flush me out. So me and this other Cromwell, we probably need to close and get under their guns. And the Cromwell in the middle can do either way the same thing. He can stay above, or he can close into the 64. So he missed me again, so I know that he's exactly in that same spot. And he's a one shot, and I've got health to give, so I'm gonna kill him in that scenario. So now, again, I'm under their guns. I'm in a relatively protected location. They can't rush me without dying. Our Cromwells are closing from other directions as well. And now once I start engaging, then our Cromwells need to continue to close and join me. Just looking for the one-shot kill there. So yeah, I don't think that they played this one super effectively, but I think we did some good things there and got the win. Obviously, again, I think that there were a couple times where we lost hit points, and we probably shouldn't have. Again, being in control of your hit points is very important. So on Muravanka, it's I guess I say this a lot. I don't know if I need to repeat it, but whatever, I guess I will. There are certain maps with really dominant positions, I feel like, and if there's a really dominant position, you should probably try to win it, because if you say, oh well, we're not good at fighting there, and give it up, and it's a really dominant position, well then you're giving up a really dominant positions, and that's not good. So the bulk of our Cromwells with our 64 out front trying to get vision are going to go that way. I'm going to try to spot them if they're coming up on the ridge here, and then reposition myself if I need to, depending on what I see. So they're over there. I need to find ways to get my gun involved. I was about to cross the map, but then their MT spotted me, so he's basically doing the same thing. So I know that there's a bit of a mirror matchup going on now. Again, I I can't know what is going on the other side of the map. But what we should be doing is taking very safe, predominantly hull down shots, not driving up on ridges, conserving hit points, poking only when we can take safe shots and not get caught out and not lose hit points. If they close or if they give us an opportunity to rush them, we're going to take it. You know, like right now, it might be that they're split or something, and yeah, so there's some tanks up on the hill there. So they're split, so our play here should be to push to the left and go down and around. I'm not sure that we do that or not, because just by the act of driving away from some of their guns and keeping our force together, we should have the ability to force an advantage. So we're going to get into it here. I saw that one shot there. There's a tank low health here, we need to kill him. We're getting a bit separated. I think that we're actually in decent position right here still. You know, we should be able to minimize how many guns we lose as compared to them, just because I thought we had good positions. That was really unlucky. I think it didn't go well in a couple of regards here. You know, I think that tanks with low health weren't able to support things quite correctly. Tanks with full health weren't able to get in there. When we pushed around to the left, it wasn't quite coordinated whether we're going to go all the way to the left or to the middle first, and so we ended up dividing our fire way too much, which is only part of the problem, right? Like, you know, not only did we divide our fire, but also when we had like a sort of winnable scenario, we didn't win it. So I feel like we can't stop going there though at the same time. We have to continue to try to do well on that corner, because it determines the outcome of the game, whether you want it to determine the outcome of the game or not. That position is so strong. And so if you want to be part of deciding if you win, you have to find a way to win over there. We're just not very good at that. Okay, so once again on El Haluf, the theory is going to be, let's catch out their fast tanks before their heavy tanks are there. So I don't know if we do it or not, but we should probably be more aggressive this time with oh wait, no we're not. What are we gonna do? We probably should have gone to the dominant location and tried to force a fight and just been super aggressive. Maybe I was worried about losing tank to the KV2. I mean, that's I guess the reason why you bring one of those things. So we're gonna plan to try to instead set up to shoot them from range. Again, I'm not shooting here on purpose. Try to shoot them from range if they do go to the corner in the northwest, and then, you know, kind of decide based on how they're moving if we attack into them or if we try to shoot them from a distance. So I'll shoot this shot here because he's behind the bush and I'm not going to get spotted. So again, that's microplay thing where using terrain, whether it's hills or cover or whatever. So as we kind of had already started to suspect based on what we were seeing, it looks like they're camping. They've got heavy tanks up in the corner, and then I suppose their mediums are around in other places. Our Cromwells will try to shoot from distance. This is a really important fight, actually. If I know that I have better alpha than that tank, but he's going to shoot faster, so I'm going to stay really hull down. I'm going to try to take one and fall back, so he can never shoot me 2 for 1. If we trade 1 for 1 and each pin each other equal amounts of times, then I win. So that's the whole idea here. We're going to go. I'm going to try to force a 1 for 1 battle. You know, here I probably need to just sit still and shoot him, because and I'm going to stay hull down. But you know, again, missing a lot or whatever. But there we go, got him. That makes life way easier. I don't really want to get hit by Artie here, so that's why I'm wiggling erratically, hopefully enough to avoid Artie. And ideally I can, like I did earlier, get back up into this above them sort of location, get vision. Again, it works beautifully. 300 meters, not spotted. This tank's cam was just so good, and probably combined with his crew or view range or whatever isn't optimized. But at any rate, so we're gonna make a similar play that we tried last time on this map, in that we're gonna amass our tanks on the corner. They haven't. See, this team did it how I thought you should do it. Like, they had a light tank watching things at least, and so they knew that I was coming up here. But now that he's dead, they don't know that we're all gathering up at the bottom there. So our guys are gonna just sit and chill and wait for everybody to kind of gang up or gather up, and then we're gonna go in and we're going to hopefully learn from our past discretions. So this is a really awesome position, actually, that I'm bushed up in. I've never played that bush ever, but it's pretty awesome. So we're gonna learn from last time. I'm going to make sure I clear this angle. It'll also give me shots, and then we're going to be a little more decisive with the Cromwells. And once the Cromwells have been clearly decisive and I run out of shots, I'm going to join them. So here we go. We're going in, and we're not looking back this time. So, you know, even me being spotted here is actually, it's nice, because theoretically they should. There we go. There's a tank that's looking at me and not our main group, and our main group can kind of keep rolling. So the idea of, you know, using shared hit points still works, and now it's not, right? So now with their closing, and he realizes he can't just sit there and snipe me. So now I'm not sharing hit points with the group anymore, and I don't have turrets turned. So even though I theoretically maybe had some shots there, I'm going to join the group to make sure we don't lose in close quarters now that we're just completely rolling. So we're making it work. Couple heavies left. We have so many more guns than them. We do need to regroup a little bit. I'm going to check for hit points right there. You know, it doesn't matter how many hit points you have against the KV2, it matters how many guns you have. So we might even send somebody off to die. So there we go, somebody got shut down. The correct play here is to focus the 150, or excuse me, the KV85, because he's the one that has a reasonable chance to actually kill more tanks. The KV2, if we kill him first or don't kill him first, he has minimal ability to kill two tanks in this engagement unless we let him. So we're actually just playing with our food a little bit here. Trying to decide when we should kill him. And I wanted to wait and let him kill another one of us before I killed him, but the guys got a little anxious here, and so we just kill him. So, deja vu all over again. Third time on this map within about 4 games, and same spot. So, the universe is trying to get us to learn something, and hopefully we will. We're gonna take, this time I think we are gonna take it, the powerful northern, northwestern position. 2 tank destroyers makes them limited, right? Some of the tanks are good in ways, you know. First of all, I will say this is a very typical Clan Wars team lineup on their part. They have lots of random tanks. I don't know if they're just grinding or what, but I guess a lot of them are premiums. I don't know. At any rate, you know, like Thunderbolt actually really is pretty hard to pen frontally. The 3485M is outstanding. Cromwell's a good tank. MT25 is a bit weird. Hellcat's, you know, as good of a tank destroyer because of its flexibility that you can bring, but it has no armor. The 200Y I think is garbage in a lot of ways. If you're going to bring that, you might as well just bring a KV2 to gain some flexibility if you want a big hitter. But so we're going to go to the north, try to kill a tank, kill tanks before the rest of their team can be involved, and, you know, you can see that time we were committed to the idea. We went much deeper into their into the corner, and when we realized they weren't there, then we're going to peel back. And again, deja vu. We're going to do. I believe it's going to turn out very, very similarly. We're going to look for engagements at distance, use vision, and this is a change. Obviously, this will change our plans. So they've got tanks that did rush across. So they've got tanks everywhere. I'm in trouble actually a little bit here. Nah, not really in trouble. I'm in trouble from getting shot by the Hellcat if I wouldn't have moved. So I knew I had to help on this light tank, but I also wanted to get safe there for a second. So we got him out. We should easily be able to kill this Cromwell. I don't need to risk hit points here as much as possible, so I'm just going to try to stay low. We've got a Cromwell or two coming in from the top. The Cromwell that's engaging him now should likewise not really try to risk too many hit points. Oh man, we just can't kill him. So I don't want to chase him and get turfed by the Su-100Y that's up on the top of the hill or the Hellcat. So I guess it's a questionable play, but we don't chase him because we know we're going to get all shot up if we do. So I'd rather get distance and try to make some other plays happen. Again, they've got Thunderbolt here now rushing across the middle. They're, I'd say, really, really disjunct at this point. Now that Cromwell could pop up behind us and shoot us, but I guess if he does that, he's going to expose himself. I think I did not shoot it there. I think we're all relatively safe. We're in relatively strong positions, not great positions. I'm worried about getting spotted, so I move back in the bush so I won't get spotted when I shoot this Thunderbolt. He is going to come across. I can't believe that one went in. He's gonna let us shoot him basically here. So the Cromwells up above have shots on their 34, 85. You know, at this point it would be reasonable to try to rush their Cromwells with our Cromwells up high. Sorry, their living Cromwell. That'd be a reasonable play to try to get that tank out. And now that their concentration and fire, because more guys are spotted in different parts of the maps, their concentration and fire should be much more divided right now. I think they used Artie on the 64, so we're going to do our best to try to keep him alive. Me and the other middle Cromwells are shooting. Of course, balancing that thing because it has an advantage from front to plate. There we go, yeah, one of the Cromwells dispatched over to try to get vision and kill their other Cromwell. I guess we kind of made a mistake there by letting him out. But now we can kind of resume what we were doing. Our, use vision and view range and distance. I'm not shooting here because I'm worried about getting spotted, so I'm going to try to get a little more distance, and then I'm going to, here I'm a little bit farther away, and I'm using this tree as cover, right? So that with the tree, I'm double bush, so he shouldn't have spotted me. I guess he did. Oh, I actually think it was probably the Hellcat that spotted me. Because really, that 30-45, I'm at that range, should have a really hard time spotting me. I'm not dark here. This is a misplay. I should have waited to go dark and then go across here. So that was bad. But I'm dark. I'll be dark now. I'm pretty sure he spotted me, so I'm gonna wait. Now he's turned his turret, so he probably will spot me. Yeah, he's got binocs. But he was turned away from me, so I felt like I had a chance to get out of there with his turret turned all the way around like that. The other Cromwells on the other side are advancing as well on their Su-100Y, and now this is complete cleanup mode. I guess I was caught up in talking about my micro plays there, but it was pretty seamless. Again, we still have a Cromwell over there that hasn't quite got the memo yet, but everybody else kind of seamlessly moved in, and I think we're going to try to ram kill him. Yep. Okay, here we go. Next battle is on Muravanka. The broken record in me will continue to be a broken record. I feel like the forest is so strategically important, especially if you have fast tanks. If you have slow tanks, maybe you shouldn't go there, I guess. But if you have fast tanks, I think it's worthwhile to try to take it. I always try to use the other team lineup and kind of the flow of what we're doing in trying to decide if both light tanks should go to this flank or we should try to spot the other side, or kind of how we should play that. So I'm kind of getting a little bit frustrated with not doing well on this flank, so I kind of wanted to be a part of it so I could see what was going on a little better and help direct traffic. So again, I get this deep. They're obviously not here. I'm going to push into the corner both to clear it, but also to establish vision out the other way. Well, you see me clicking the map there. Well, we're going to have to anticipate them coming up the north. So the other Type 64 is going to reposition to the north. The Cromwells are going to get into a position along the ridge so that they can kind of be versatile and go every which way. A lot of teams like to play through the kind of the 2-line, the 3-line on this, and I think that's a good play for their team lineup. Hopefully I can get some vision out from this angle. I'm reversing into it so I can leave faster. A little bit unexpected that I spotted their 64 without getting spotted in return, because I did drive across the open there. So now we know that they're kind of holding at least some tanks on that corner. We're going to continue to push vision on the one hand with our other 64, and we need to find alternate firing angles on these guys, because where the most of our Cromwells are not going to have shots. But if we can get a couple of Cromwells to the corner, you'll often have some shots here, and you'll be out of max spotting. So they're being a little too wiggly here for me to try to use already. Okay, there I did. Yeah, when he stopped moving, I used it, but I think he moves a little too much here. Yeah. So I thought he was going to freeze there for long enough, but it was not quite long enough. Unfortunately, that lets him know that he's still spotted. So again, we're still in a scenario where I'm not convinced it's our best play to try to close distance and play them close quarters based on our location and their location. They're going to be very grouped up, and we're probably going to take damage trying to get into position. So, you know, again, there's no standard way to do this. There's no standard way to think about things. It's trying to understand your relative strengths and weaknesses versus the other team's relative strengths and weaknesses. And part of this is that this is a good clan, so we expect them to have players that know how to play the game at a high level, and if we make mistakes, they're going to capitalize on them. So, you know, if we drive across the open, we're going to get spotted and they're going to kill us, or at least shoot us, and then we're, you know, that might be just enough of an advantage for them to just trade it out with us. So, still not being very definitive what we should do here. I think we actually probably could play. An interesting play might be to try to get into the woods along the K line and try to play him from that angle. I think we'll probably get spotted doing that, though. I think another thing that we probably should be doing here, my position is pretty strong. Maybe the other 64 is in a really strong position too. So yeah, there we go. I'm asking him to try to get vision out that way. Towards the middle would also be really reasonable to dip in throughout the buildings to try to get spots on guys that we're assuming are on the hill. But again, they're good players, so they're going to be in a bush, so they're not going to really be spotted, and they're going to be able to control when they get spotted by knowing when they shoot, they're going to immediately fall back down the hill. Okay, so here's a couple tanks. So their force looks like they're spotted. We're going to counter cap them. Our 64 is dead. And we're going to try to enter cap together so that they have minimal time to respond. And so we're all going to take different positions, one behind the building, one in the bushes. I have really awesome camo, so I feel pretty good about being relatively in the open, kind of half behind the bushes. I think what we could have done better is that we could have had our middle cromwells cut back. Yeah, here I'm going to try to bush up a little bit. We probably had our middle cromwells cut back and try to get into this. I think Chaco said he accidentally knocked the building over right there, or maybe it was shot over, and then they used Artie on him to get a reset. So now we're in trouble because we're in the open on an open cap, and their team responded quickly, like they would because they're a good team, and our misplay, so to speak, our macro misplay was that we didn't send our middle group of Cromwells to do anything. They should have immediately attacked right to where they are now when we went to cap, and that was pointed out at the time, and I think that would have been a really great suggestion by Bob. I feel like it probably would have worked actually, because they would have been pretty preoccupied with Cromwells in their face, and their chance of us getting reset would be minimal, but also our chance to do actual real damage in the event that we weren't able to reset. In the event that we weren't able to cap out, and if we were to get reset, you know, our chance to actually fight them and, well, that was bad, fight them and win would increase. So now we have like no chance to fight them and win, because we had a delayed engagement with them, in which, you know, we played them 1 on 7 and then 3 on 7 and then 3 on 7 effectively. So didn't go as planned. You're not going to win every game, especially against good teams. I think a lot of what happened there was reasonable, except, like I said at the end, I think if the middle group of Cromwells would have immediately attacked in to distract as we capped, I think that would have been better. I kind of wanted to leave them back though, because I figured they might try to counter cap us, and then we would have been in trouble too. So either way, that's how that one played out. Alright, so Westfield is actually a map that doesn't come up a lot for Strongholds. I think what happened, and I think we see this later in the session, is that with one of the recent patches, they opened back a bunch of maps to Tier 6 Strongholds where they had a little more constraint before. And I guess I'll comment on that later, but I think it was a kind of an advantage to us. I felt like we were more adaptable to map rotation that everybody was not used to. So having not played it before, you know, I don't know what teams usually do, right? So all I know that is what I usually know, that the middle is a very strong position in general. So we're going to send our Cromwells there, and we're going to send our light tanks out to try to get vision. I wonder if the Type 64 got spotted and he decided not to try to get into that more powerful northern position. Our Cromwells are trying to kick vision out through the city here. We think they're on the 0 line based on, I think, trees down or spotting, or, you know, the fact that they're not spotted anywhere else. So yeah, it looks like they're hunkered down on the other side. There we go, there's the light tank spotted by our 64. You know, there are spots over there that are really challenging to dig out, so hopefully our 64 can make work of some crossfire. I'm going to continue to very carefully, hopefully very carefully, push vision down into these bushes and see what's going on. It looks, to me, it would look like one of their 84, 85 M's is on this flank and everybody else is back in the woods on the other side. And I feel like when you're not used to a map, like, I guess you play slow or camp or whatever, so I don't know if that's part of it, why they decided not to like make an aggressive play anywhere. So that's interesting that he got shot from there. This should be a clean kill for our Cromwells now. Let's see him all missing shots. Our 64 died. He probably would have still died, but he got to kill the 64 there. And finally dead. So, you know, I mean, guess derpy cromwell gun. So I don't know if I really want to go much further than this. This is a pretty advanced bush, and I did this because the 3485M that was over here was spotted away. So what we really need to do now, again, there are light tanks out and we got a light tank, so we need to try to capitalize somehow on vision dominance, and I'm asking if another Cromwell can take the place of our light tank, because I think that is important to keep vision out through there. And what's going to end up happening here is that, you know, we have various cross shots. I'm hesitant to fire because I would, if there's somebody in a bush over there, I would likely get spotted. But if you're a little more up on the, yeah, I'm asking for somebody to come up on the ridge there and shoot down across and such. I'm asking for our Cromwells to get better angles of fire. Where they're at on the map, the spotted ones, there we go. So again, do I even shoot here? I might not even shoot. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I shot. So again, heavy tank in the open, we gotta kill him. And the Cromwells on the ridge here have to be careful not to get spotted, because that is a very exposed position relative to the soft cover offered on the other side. So, you know, clearly heavy tank in the middle of the map, spotted. He's gotta die. And again, I think we're being a little too careless up here. You know, we're getting spotted, I think, when we didn't need to. Positions up here, I think, would get shots down. I don't think we need to be proxy spotted by those guys. I think we should actually try really hard not to get proxy spotted by those guys. We know where they are, and we know that we can't engage them, so we don't really need to see what they're doing. We just need to see if they're moving. So our Cromwells now have backed off. One of them had gotten killed. You know, if they're going to play this side of that ridge, there's not really much we're going to do. Hopefully the mechanics of this bush hold out and I can just stay here even if they start to poke that corner. I've still got Artie, so if they sit in the corner I can always just delete one of them. Cromwell's pushing vision from the other side. I can't remember if he was getting effective vision or if he was getting spotted. Okay. Yeah, so I got spotted there. That's actually really unexpected. I don't know what about the angle that he took, or maybe the wiggle that I had. I'm not sure how that happened, because it looked like I had a really solid position there. So I think at this point we have to start to give up on the breaking camp and be more defensive. And here we go. This Cromwell has really effective fire. We probably should have sent another one up this way, actually. You know, there's a couple tanks that could die and really change this. There we go. That's awesome blind firing by Bud there. There you go. You have to be really careful not to get caught out like that. Obviously, by map and spotting and view range mechanics, Artie Strike killed that guy. So again, like, you have to know that you just can't sit there and not move. But I was gonna say, these tanks way over here can't see by view range. Like, you really can't see the Cromwells that were up on the other ridge. So we're gonna try to be defensive and at this point and get away and make them move, because they clearly aren't interested in doing that. So maybe they'll just sit and draw it. I don't know what the best location to do this from is, actually. I guess I know that there's all kinds of cover along the F1 area, and I also thought, well, we need crossfire somewhere, so maybe if we can get vision out from K1, we can shoot up on the ridge but also control vision from a different angle, so, and have kind of a self-sustained crossfire. So that's the idea. Again, how could we have done this different otherwise? I think 2 tanks in Bud's position. I think when you're spotted, you can't sit still. I think the one-shot tank that got caught moving across the middle had to realize that he was likely to get spotted and not do that. No, those are things that went wrong. Maybe my vision was too deep. Putz needs to double bush here and get some shots going. I think there's some cover there some hard cover that's making it challenging. But and now he needs to pop back in the bush because he needs to be aware that there's going to be guys coming from the right. He needs to be able to see those so that Bob can shoot them. Crossfire. There we go. Yeah, and maybe my vision was too aggressive. I'm actually still am surprised that I was spotted in that bush, but I think possibly, I guess I probably won't use that location again, but you know. So this is actually a winnable scenario right here still, or we've kind of reeled it back to a winnable scenario. Bob probably should attack the 845 on the hill that was last spot on the hill now that he's running out of shots. For a couple of reasons. One is because he's lower health, and really the most manageable way to do this sort of a scenario is to trade hit points to make it a one-on-one. And if he dodges well and misses, then maybe we're in luck. Now you can't really trade hit points one for one, so he has to not do that. So this is important too. I'm suggesting that he moves immediately out to that area because they have, again, minimal opportunities to win this game. We can probably draw it just by resetting cap, but you have to know on this map that there's that building to hide behind, and so the only realistic way to reset them is to go out here and spot them and shoot them from this direction. So you maybe saw me clicking it on the map a minute ago. That's immediately what I was suggesting even before they started capping. And so it's a matter of, can you spot them, and are you at enough? Now he needs to move forward. He needs to keep moving. Are you? Because I don't think he runs binocs. And then the split-second decision of, should I go for the interrupt because they're going to cap, or and then is that going to get me killed, or should I wait till the last second, pull the trigger, hopefully it hits? I think that shot was premature, so now he's decided to commit. And this is actually okay. There, okay, so I think he hit a track there. As long as he drives forward into these buildings, he gets some cover, it's going to be okay. So playing to draw there, not to win. With more time, they probably would have hunted him. So, you know, I guess we saved it from being a total loss. Here again, in Malinovka, this is up until now not been a tier 6 stronghold map, so it's really refreshing to kind of get maps because I think it keeps things fresh, and it kind of keeps you thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it, which is a good thing, rather than just kind of, we do this because we do it, and then it'll help you realize things that you're good at, not good at, and help you improve. So I think it's Brady and the other light tank is going to go to the spotty bush, as it's known. We're going to send the Cromwells to the hill. The hill is ultra dominant on this map from either side. If you can control it, if you can get there first, you can shoot down on them. We have a speed advantage. I'm going to try to work vision through the middle, and there's several ways that I can play this. And the way that I'm going to do it is actually, if you're aggressive and fast enough, it can be pretty dominant. So I'm going to try to get to this bush and then just chill in it and let them, drive into lanes of fire and hopefully be passive spotting the entire time. So it's a little tricky to not knock over trees and get into the correct location. I think I'm in it now. I would have been spotted, I guess, by that guy if I wasn't. So we need to kill the Cromwells, right? Like, and we can do it by staying hull down to some extent and not allowing 85Ms to shoot us. But, that, again, this is how it's supposed to work with a fast lineup. You're supposed to be able to press into an advantageous location, take free early damage, and not lose a bunch of hit points in return, because you're just there faster and part of their team can't respond. Brede's getting rushed across the middle here. I feel like I'm risking my my invisibility there, but I felt like I needed to try to help him rather than stay invisible, because if he can win that, if he loses that flank over there, it completely changes how we have to play. And there I'm double bushed against this Cromwell, and I guess it's worthwhile. There I'm going to be spotted. I guess it's worthwhile getting that damage off. Brede is able to handle that guy completely one-on-one because I didn't do any damage to him. And then here's a one-shot tank. Again, that was pretty lucky, but I have to be able to win that fight without their 3045Ms. We did manage to get another 8045M killed. Hopefully, I think it was probably because of my vision. I'm not even sure. But now we can get into it here. We've got tank advantage. We lose a tank or two in the process of rapidly killing them. It's going to be fine. Ramp kill. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, pretty good result. Pretty fluid gameplay. The strategy ended up being executed as, or tactic, I guess, I don't know, whatever it is. The plan ended up being executed how I envisioned it going, which is always kind of nice. I mean, we didn't really have to adapt on the fly. It's nice to be able to do that too, obviously, but I think we're getting comfortable in this session, and we're feeling pretty good.